Welcome to the Courage to Be podcast. I am your host, Tania Vasallo. This weekend, I had a friend come over with her husband to pick up a bunch of Ben's art that they're going to be storing. Thank you, Linda and Tim, for that. And when she came in to the house and then the studio, and we were showing them all the pieces that we have left over and stuff that we haven't given away, I showed her the closet that we're using. It's I don't know in feet, maybe a 6-foot closet, 6 by 6 or something like that. So we've chosen not to put things into storage because I feel like that's a racket. Like you'll end up putting all this stuff in storage and stuff that you're not going to use in a year or two. So we narrowed everything down to the 6 by 6 closet. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that this is your moving closet." Her jaw just dropped. She just like hugged me and congratulated me. And it's such a example, like I'm sure I would have reacted like that. Like if you would have told me 6 months ago that we were going to narrow down all our belongings into that 6 by 6 closet, and we're only taking to Bali one checked luggage. We're each checking in a luggage and we're having a carry-on with us. So for the next 2 years, we're just living off of that one luggage that's going to be checked in and our carry-on. And it is a proud moment. I have to say, I am very proud of us, of the three of us, of being able to simplify our lives to that stage and to that degree. There is something so liberating in just choosing simplicity, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's taken me months. I'm not going to say that this was easy. We've gotten rid of so many things. We've donated thousands and thousands of dollars. And there's going to be another episode where I talk about that mindset and the process of letting go of all these things and giving things away, because it's easy to give things away that you own, that you don't no longer need. But there's a whole other mindset of giving things away and not doing a yard sale, but I'll get into that one. But there is such a liberation in choosing simplicity in your lives, because we really don't need that many things. And so I remember a colleague that was in one of my masterminds, Rosetta. She's the happy Black woman. And it struck me years ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, that she said she was traveling around the world. I actually looked up to her, but I had a little one. So I was like, well, that's her. I can't do this. But Rosetta was traveling around the world with just one carry-on. She narrowed all of her possessions into a carry-on. And so she was living, a month here, a month there with just her things in her carry-on. And I was able to do this. See, maybe these things, she inspired me. She hasn't known about the impact that she had on my life. But ever since COVID happened and I was going to Spain in the summer times, that first summer after COVID, I remember my mom saying to me, like, don't come with a checked luggage. Normally when we'd go back home to Spain, we'd come with a huge suitcase, bring gifts and bring things that we might need in Spain. And hey, if you're going to be there for 4 weeks, you have to take a big luggage. And I remember thinking of Rosetta back in that time from Happy Black Woman. And I'm like, well, if she was able to travel months at a time with just a little rolly, a carry-on, I can do the same. And it's summertime. So it was an easier transition into just a smaller suitcase. And that's what I did. We carried that summer. We were back in Spain for, I think, around 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. And my daughter carried her rolly, her little carry-on. I carried mine. And we were fine. We were fine being able to live those 4 weeks with that. You had enough of everything, for rain, for sunshine, your bathing suit, all those things. And so I think doing that for the last couple of summers has helped me transition into this stage of simplifying our lives to a 6 by 6 closet and just one large suitcase for each one of us. So if you are someone that holds on to a ton of things, that every time that you travel, you do need to check in, like all these, 3 suitcases and a carry-on, I really invite you to start narrowing down and asking yourself the question, do I really need all of these things? Because when you strip it all down, the essentials become clear. It's like, okay, I just need 2 or 3 pairs of pants, maybe one dress up and then one pair of jeans in case we travel somewhere else. I don't need all this makeup. I don't need all these creams or other things that, although my daughter is bringing like a gazillion bags of creams and she's only 12. You would think that it's the other way around, but she's in that phase. So I will leave you with this question. What would you keep if you had to fit your life into one closet? Again, what would you keep if you had to fit your life into just one closet? And please share with me. Type it into YouTube if you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, or type it a comment in Substack, or just reach out to me in DM and share with me. I love hearing your comments and making this a two-way conversation instead of me just talking all over about this. Until our next episode, remember to always choose to live a life with courage instead of comfort. I'm Tania Vasallo. I'm your host, and I'll talk to you soon. If you loved today's episode, it would mean so much if you rate and review The Courage to Be on Apple Podcast. Not only does it help the show to grow, but it also gets you in the running for something amazing. Every month, I draw one lucky winner to receive a complimentary 7-night, 8-day vacation. You'll get to pick from over 3,000 beautiful resorts worldwide. You just cover the taxes and fees like you would with a travel rewards. Airfare is not included. And if you want to double your chances, along with your Apple Podcast review, leave a couple of comments on YouTube. That counts as a second entry. Just send your screenshots to help.thecouragetobe@gmail.com, and you'll find the email in the show notes too. It only takes a moment, and who knows, your next adventure might be closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on our next episode of the Courage to Be podcast.